TW Origi with me now, along with the full panel. TW, former communications aide to Senator Lindsey Graham. Linda Tran, former senior advisor to Pete Buttigieg. Huh, how about that? Ashley Davis, former official in the George W. Bush White House. And Dan Cannonen, former Battleground States Director for both the Obama and Harris campaigns. Hello to you all.
Hello. Hi.
Nice to have you in. Anybody want to take a guess who we start with here? What's going on? What's going on?
Well, what's going on is that my former boss is defending his record. And so far, what we've seen from this administration, I think there's plenty of good intention, but maybe a little bit fast and loose on the actual data and the details. In that quote that you just pulled up just a moment ago, for example, he said that the previous administration didn't do anything about air traffic controllers. And in fact, for the first time in many decades, my team, my former boss, got the number of recruits that we actually set a goal for, in fact, exceeding it last year for the first time in decades. So it's not exactly accurate. The other big piece of this, of course, when we talk about this all the time, is the IIJA, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, put another $25 billion into airports all around this country. So it's
there's still a big problem, though, right, with the FAA and air traffic controller.
There's definitely a decades-long downward spiral that needs to be countered right now, but I just don't think it's terribly fruitful to point at data that's not exactly accurate.
Linda's right. I think it was something like 3,400 new controllers under the previous.
1,802.
1,802. Okay, well, it's still very, very good in the last 4 years under that leadership, as she mentioned. And all these folks that we're talking about are being cut indiscriminately right now, many of whom are directly responsible for safety or have some safety role. If you do want to address safety at this agency, and anyone that works at DOT will tell you, especially NTSB and FAA, that safety is the North Star of what they do, then you come in with that mindset. You don't do it by slashing and burning and then asking questions later who you might have cut.
45,000 total employees, 14,000 air traffic controllers. When you talk about 400 employees, and trust me, I get it, losing a job is not fun. It stinks, especially when you have family, especially when you have kids. But it's 1%, right? So the slashing, I'm not sure this is slashing.
Here's my point, Blake. I don't think anyone's going to say, I'm actually not going to say, that the cuts happening were a direct result, or this was a direct result of those cuts, or even the previous crash we saw in the Potomac, or any of that stuff. No one is making that claim, even though Donald Trump made some pretty outrageous claims the other way on DEI. But it is very true. If you want to come in and work on safety, come in and work on safety, and don't do this and pretend that that's really your focus.
But we don't really have any idea who was let go. I mean, obviously it is horrible to lose your job, and I agree 100%, but we don't know if there was poor performance. I know a lot of them were new, either the last year or two that they've been hired. I don't know why everyone is so shocked. The administration knew exactly what they were doing today after all these plane crashes, laying off anybody at the FAA. They were going to get bad press about it. It's not something, doesn't take a brain surgery to figure that out. I just don't understand why not doing anything or waiting to review, Dan, is the answer. I mean, having Elon and his team that actually are from SpaceX come in and take a look at this, I actually think they're the best in the business.
Conflict of interest there, right? There's going to be the argument of Elon going into the FAA. I mean, they've regulated him, and they've had back and forths there.
And he got a bad result that he didn't like.
When it comes to logistical systems, I'm going to trust Elon over 99% of all humans on the planet. But let me go back to something else. I agree that you are not making the case that these planes are falling out of the sky because of Doge, but others are. So we've heard Democrats tell us in recent months we ought not politicize tragedies. We also heard them say a number of times, well, we all know there's bloat and waste in government, and sign me up for doing it. And then every time a dime is cut, an employee is fired, the sky is falling, and planes are going with it. And I think that is completely irresponsible. These 400 workers were probationary. They have been there for under 2 years. Okay, this is an incredibly small amount of the workforce, and there were 0 air traffic controllers and 0 safety officials. Also, the back and forth you saw alluded to in those tweets was the telework rate. Sean Duffy claimed that something like 90% of FAA, basically no one worked from home except for air traffic controllers.
Well,
I don't know if that rate is right, but I would guarantee it's a pretty high number.
First of all, we do know who some of the people that were laid off among the 400. And many of them literally have the word safety in their title. They are safety specialists. They are the mechanics that inspect the operations. If you don't think that those roles are part of the safe operations of the FAA,
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.